feel like I'm on a reality TV show confessional. Hi everyone, it's Plant Mama Tatiana and I'm here to practice some radical honesty when it comes to houseplants. So I feel like I'm just going to use this time to be completely candid. I don't really have anything planned to say, but I just had some things on my mind recently when it comes to houseplants, especially just coming out of the winter and not really having a lot of motivation not only to record and talk about my plants with you all, but also just taking care of the plants in general. So I want to talk about that, and hopefully there are other people out there that can relate to the feeling. And yeah, hopefully we can all just feel like we're not alone in this and be on the same page. So for me, as you all know, I haven't counted recently, over 100 houseplants in my collection in my New York City apartment. I feel like ever since I moved to my new apartment, it has been really disheartening with a lot of my plants because I have a lot less light in this apartment than I used to in my other place. Although I have more like windows and more window space, I guess you could say more windowsills, there's just like not as much light as my old apartment. My old apartment had an east-facing window, so it got bright, direct sunlight every single morning, really. Even during the winter, it would stream in, even on a cloudy day. It was just really large, and there were a lot of plants that were able to benefit from that. I also was just like more motivated during the winter last year, and I really wanted to take care of my plants. I had my grow lights set up, I put them there. I don't really have the kind of setup with my grow lights where it's already just there and on timers and can turn on. Like I have to move a lot of plants to go under them and under the lamps and the tables and the spaces that I have just based on my setup. And so that requires like moving plants, setting them up to be in these areas, whatever. What I'm trying to say is when winter hit this time around, I had zero motivation. I was barely watering my plants. I mean, I still did my watering schedule, but it was such a chore, such a drag to be like, ugh, I have to water them again. I have to just like get this done. And I also wasn't prioritizing the plants in that sense. So to me, watering day, instead of like taking my moisture meter, really feeling the soil, checking to see if these plants needed it, I watered everything and I was like, whatever, it's just a check off of my list of something to do where I'm going to water the plant and not worry about it, and then it has water, it's alive, whatever. And so I think it's not ideal to do it that way because obviously that was me just like being a bad plant parent in a sense. I was putting myself first, just wanting to get things done first over like, does this plant actually need water? Is it going to benefit from that? Is it going to cause root rot if I do this, especially in the winter? So I probably did that like every 2 weeks, week and a half, whatever. I probably stretched longer than that too. So I just really like was not motivated to take care of them. I was not motivated to move things towards the light, move things close to the window, put on grow lights, and most of all, I was not motivated to rehab any plants. So if a plant died, I was just like, whatever, I let it die. I barely even looked at the plants to notice that they were dying. They just kind of were all there, and I wasn't looking at them individually to see, okay, like this is a classic example. It's not in the screen, but the big plant I had in my kitchen, it's dead. It's just a stick. You know what, I'll get it. It's just the stick. Why? Because I let it rot. I think it did not need as much water. It was slowly dying. It wasn't getting enough light. Didn't move it. Didn't particularly care to do so. And one day I noticed it was just like starting to rot. A lot of it was starting to rot. It was just gross. And I was like, whatever, maybe it needs more water. I don't really care. And I just watered it more. So obviously not ideal because now I don't have a cute plant there. And same with like a lot of other plants that, like for example, my plants from Indonesia, there were some that could have just used a little more humidity, a little more care and focus, and they probably would have survived, but I just did not care. I did not care to save them, to fix them. And that kind of sucks because I do love the plants. I love when they are pretty and doing well and just kind of being on their own, but I'm also just like, don't have the energy or the time to want to dedicate to taking care of so many plants. So for me, it was kind of like, one, let me like get rid of a lot of plants. So I did phase 1 of that where I did go home for the holidays and I brought tons of plants in my suitcase and send them to my mom so that she could rehab them or take care of them, or just kind of like offload a lot of stress. So I feel in a lot better place than I was a couple months ago, because I was just completely overwhelmed with like my rehab situation. I had bromeliads I wanted to save, I had alocasia I wanted to save, I had the oxalis triangularis. Like there are so many plants I just loved, and it just wasn't worth the time or energy to try to do it in this apartment that doesn't have a lot of light or a lot of ideal, like, you know, environment for it, not only with the light but with like me as someone to take care of it. And so I kind of just rehomed them, put them in a different place so that they could continue their life and survive somewhere else, and that someone else could enjoy them. And hopefully, since they're with my mom, I can get propagations from them or something in the future, and then they will survive. So, or live on once I have the energy to take care of them. So I feel really good about that. I got rid of a lot of plants, maybe 20-ish, I don't know. And that was really helpful. It cleared up a lot of space on my windowsills. It made me feel like a lot less overwhelmed, a lot less clutter, which is really nice. And so now I feel at a good place with a lot of plants that are left, that they can just kind of survive on their own without a lot of care. And I have now gotten to a new part of trying to appreciate them more and, like, you know, look at them and enjoy them for what they are and not just as like a burden or stress. So I think that can definitely be hard when you really want like a lot of plants and you want to enjoy them all and have everything in your collection, but then you just can't enjoy them because of the overwhelming and the stress and just like wanting to focus on other things other than plants. Like I wanted to improve myself in other ways, you know? I want to focus on, I don't know, learning new things, being healthier, spending more time with people, that kind of thing. So plants can kind of take away from that for sure. So yeah, so I just kind of want to talk about like being overwhelmed for one, and then just that kind of struggle of needing to let plants go or like not buy new plants or accept new plants, so that you can focus on the ones you have, and then you can not just like get completely about them and see them as a struggle and see them as a chore, which I definitely have been feeling the past couple of months. It doesn't help that kind of like being on YouTube. I really like, if I want to take care of plants or something, I really want to be able to show you all how I'm doing it and create content and kind of share my journey with everyone, but it just becomes a whole thing when you have to take care of them that way and like have to show everyone. So I think the other thing I have started doing, which has helped, is just taking care of plants off camera, like repotting them off camera, changing soil off camera, that kind of thing, so that I don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm not going to do that until I have like the energy or the time to record it. So just like doing it like that. It's been like wishy-washy for the past couple of weeks. I can't say that I've repotted a lot of things recently. I did have like one day where I was like, I'm gonna do a plant repotting day, and I repotted a lot of stuff that had just been in like water propagation jars for a while, like the Indonesian plants. I finally like sat down and was like, I'm repotting everything. So that was about a month or a little more than a month ago. 2 months? I don't know. Time is meaningless to me. So that was a little bit ago, but I haven't really done anything since. And then I also have been stressed because like the office / guest room where Edward spends most of his day, and now Frankie has her space, that area is like where plants go to die, and it's twofold. One, not great light in there. It has really nice morning light for like a couple of hours, but in awkward areas. So like the light only shines in where like the bed is or whatever, or like the day bed is. So it's like I can't put plants on there. Or also I like don't go in there very often. I like very rarely go in there. And so when I see a plant that's like struggling in there, I'm like, shut the door, that's another day's problem, that's another person's problem. So that's kind of like where my dead plants go. But it kind of sucks because I also at the same time, like I hold on to plants a little longer than maybe I should have, whereas it would probably be more beneficial for them to be rehomed earlier and have someone rehab them than to the point where they are in the office, where a lot of them are just like sticks and dead and there's no hope for them, or they're rotting. I mean, there's a lot of plants in there that are also looking great and awesome and have been really successful still, but there's just like those ones that like you really fixate on and focus on, and you see more of the negative than the positive. So even though I have 99 plants that are beautiful and gorgeous and growing, I fixate on the 15 that look horrible and are just ugly and dying, and I don't like have the energy to like throw them away or like hack them and propagate them or whatever it is. So I don't know, do y'all relate to that? I feel like a lot of us maybe like accumulated plants really quickly, and then we kind of like hit our level and find out what our threshold is. And I think for me, without having a lot of space and without having something like a greenhouse or like somewhere that they can all go and just like thrive together or something, or like an outdoor patio where it's like you can take a hose and water them all, for example, I think that I've kind of hit my limit of how many plants that I have right now. And I obviously want new plants. I want to feel that excitement for sure. I don't have as much of a desperate craving or desire or just like need to have that boost of serotonin and energy from getting a plant. Like I'm trying to get that in other ways and not just like from buying something or getting something new. So that is why I haven't been recording as many videos about my houseplants or haven't been doing as many plant care videos. Honestly, I've been trying to explore other things creatively and like other things that make me happy, and I hope you all can understand and relate to that and maybe share your experiences in the comments of, you know, if you've hit this kind of like wall with houseplants and how you've gotten past it, or if you're still struggling with it. So for me, I know I'm still gonna have houseplants in my life. I'm not ready to rip them all down and throw them away and just be done, but I think I knew I had a problem when I was thinking about, oh my gosh, do I have, like, what if I had to move again? And I was thinking about how hard it was to move all those plants, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I have to move all of these plants again, I don't think I could. Like, I don't think I have it in me and the love for these plants right now to go through the energy of like packing them, putting them in a car, carrying them up and down. Like, oh my gosh, it was so much work. It was so much work. It was really hard, and it was awesome to be able to keep all of them, but I can totally see where it's like, okay, I may be keeping like 5 that I like, but I just need to like start fresh. Well, 5 doesn't sound like enough. Maybe half, but yeah, I think I would just be like, okay, is this one sparking joy? No, get rid of it. Is this one sparking joy? No. Is this one hard to get? No. Then I say that, and then if it actually happened, I probably would be biting my words right now. I probably would just keep everything because I love them. That's my confessional. Let me know what you all think. If you want to talk houseplants or gardening or nature or really anything plant related or cooking related. I love plant-based cooking and I do that on my channel too. So if you like any of that stuff, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!